Moving on to step 6 now, and I've been busy with the foam again. So what I did here is I measured the foam cutouts on the pictures here. So I measured that across at I think I remember that was 8mm across and 11mm in length. So I've cut 2 pieces of foam out ready. So there they are. There's those little guys there. So we're going to pop those on the gearboxes once we've got things in place. So that's those 2. We're also going to need this shaft. You'll notice Tamiya drawing is a slightly darker shaded in, so it's the black, almost black colour one, which is a 5x21mm shaft. So we need one of those. And we also need here the BA6, which are the 3x10mm self-tapping screws. We need 3 of those little boys, and they can go as well. We're also going to need our gearbox that we made, our A2 side, and we're also going to need our counter gear that we also put together with our bearings in. So we're going to need to grease this up, put all these components together, and then we're also going to take our other side of our gearbox, which we made in the previous steps, and we're going to be popping these 2 together to make a rear gearbox. So let's take our little shaft, our 5x21mm shaft that goes in this hole here, and let's do a little bit of greasing on that ready. We want to make sure it's got a little bit on there anyway. I know we're using bearings, so let's put a bit of grease on there anyway, so it's nicely greased and ready to roll. There we are. There we go. And that can go inside there. There we go. Then we're going to take our counter gear, and we're going to make sure this is greased as well. And we're just going to pop some of this grease on here, like so. So it's got plenty on there. We'll spread that around so it's all in. There we are. Bit of a yucky. I like getting your hands in this. This is one of these ones. Get everything nicely lubricated inside the gearbox. It's nice actually. Yeah, it's nice. It goes on quite easy. I use the brush to put it on. Just I like to make sure everything's in nice in there. Right, so you get your counter gear, and you pop your counter gear over the shaft, and you just wiggle it around until the gears actually engage, because you'll feel the gears engage. These gears here, this one and this one engage. So there we are. So you can see that engages and turns nicely, which is good. All right, so now we've got those greased and on there. Little wipe of the fingers for the grease. So now we take our other gearbox side, and we need to line up. We need to line up the holes. So we've got our gearbox on this side. We've got our gearbox on this side. We're going to be screwing through this side. So let's put the 2 halves together first. So you line them up, and we've got to line up these quite well. You've got this shaft here are going to line up in here and in here. And yeah, we'll get that all lined up nicely. It'll soon click into place. Tamiyas are very good like that, making sure everything lines perfectly. So we just bring the 2 halves together, and then we make sure that they can just, you might have to just wiggle it a little bit. There we go. There we are. So there we are. That's now in place, and we can now screw these 2 together. So the screws only go in one place. You can only see them. So you've got this hole here. We've got one in there. Got this hole here. So we've got one in there. And this hole here. We'll drop one in there. And then we'll jiggle them around with the screwdriver to make sure that they get into place. So here we go. Catch some threads on that one. Catch some threads on this one. And catch some threads on this one. So now we've got the threads moving. I'm just screwing these 2 together so they're nice and tight. Excuse me. Just a case of keep going until it stops. You don't have to go mad, because if you strip them, you're going to have a gearbox that isn't going to be very good. You're not going to seal up. There we are. That's tight. Done. There we are. Now we need to put the foam pieces on. So getting these lined up on the drawing, just to show you where they go. You've got one piece that will stick on here, where this thing here is, and one piece that will stick on there. So you kind of got them a little bit opposing each other. So that's how they're going to stick on there. So we'll get those stuck on just by peeling the backs off and put them in place. So just taking this here. I can get my little fingers over it. Easier said than done. This is why I'm using the little tweezers to do it. There we go, got the backing out. So let's pop that in place. I'll do this first one. Which is like that. And then we'll take the second one, which will go something like, off you come boy. There you go. Which will go something like that. There we are. Done. So they are opposing in effect. There we are. So that's step 6 completed.